The future looks scary. Anything could happen, and humanity as a species or a group of people might not be ready. Think about all the sci-fi movies from the last few decades that showed what could go wrong if, for example, a dangerous Arnold Schwarzenegger robot went back in time to the 1980s, or a swarm of machines put Keanu Reeves in a virtual reality world. Even though those examples don't seem likely right now, there are a number of things that could happen in the next 10 years that would put people in uncharted territory and force them to either sink or swim. Most likely, climate change is the most recent case of this. You don't know what will happen, but you have a bad feeling about it. Some things, though, are just out of reach right now, but are coming, like an Arnold Schwarzenegger killer robot from the future. And if you're not ready for them, who knows what could happen. Here's a list of the 10 scariest technological predictions for the year 2023. Number 10. AI may eliminate a whole new era of scams. With the rise of the internet, there was a whole new world of con artists who used old tricks in new ways. Thanks to spam filters and better information, those scams don't work as well as they used to. But the next step in the growth of scams could happen soon. David Brin, a physicist and science fiction writer, has a scary prediction about conversational AI because it learns from how people talk. AI would eventually learn enough about how people work together to be able to control people. Number 9. Deepfakes will make telling what can't be done? USA Today says that deepfakes are often made with the help of AI and footage of people that already exists. Even though there are ways to spot them now, like the fact that people in deepfakes often don't blink, they're expected to get better over time. The New York Times says that media companies are already making plans to find deepfakes before they do too much damage. However, the clock is already ticking on the first deepfake video that makes headlines all over the world. Number 8. Killer robots are on their way. Drones, which are remotely controlled vehicles, can be used in battle right now, but the human pilot is a bottleneck that militaries all over the world want to get rid of. People need to eat and sleep, and they can only be in charge of one vehicle at a time. Vox says that this can be done better using laws or lethal autonomous weapons. Laws are like drones, but they're completely controlled by AI and don't need human help. The L in lethal is very important. Laws have the power to kill without any help from people. Number 7. Hacking of smart homes. The so-called Internet of Things has made parts of life easier, but it also has a whole new set of problems that could happen. The Economist says that viruses and hacking will be big in smart homes in the future. Let's say you buy a high-end smart oven that turns out to be broken. You basically don't have that oven in your house anymore, which makes cooking and, by extension, life very hard. You might have to decide whether to pay the ransom or buy a new oven. What if someone breaks into your smart air conditioner during a heat wave? Number 6. Space debris may eliminate satellites. Satellites are often put into space, but it takes a long time to get rid of or clean up the old ones. This makes a lot of what's called orbital debris, which The Verge says is becoming a big problem. If you remember Sandra Bullock's role in the 2013 movie Gravity, she played a NASA astronaut working on the Hubble telescope when a missile hit on an old satellite set off a chain reaction of debris flying through orbit. This is not something that was made up for the movie. Kessler syndrome is a real health problem. Number 5. Automation will have an effect on employment for a long time to come. Over the last century, people have made tools that make jobs easier, but they've done so at the cost of jobs. Case in point, people who make horse carriages. When cars were everywhere, that business went away because people no longer needed to go. As the workflow gets better, more tasks become unnecessary, and it's not always easy to do something else in their place. The Brookings Institute says that as technology gets better, automation-related unemployment is becoming a big problem. As AI and computers take over more jobs, more people will be out of work. This is bad news for capitalist societies that depend a lot on employment. Several possible solutions have been suggested, such as a guaranteed minimum income for everyone, but no clear answer has come up yet. Number 4. There will be more surveillance. People are constantly being watched, with cameras following them around in public and digital breadcrumbs showing what they do and eat every day. But in the near future, these things are likely to get worse. The Verge says that AI will make a big difference in the field of surveillance. Technology will be able to track you every step of the way, and AI will put it all together without anyone looking over it. This means that you'll have enough information and processing power to keep an eye on someone 24 hours a day without needing a person to look over the information. TechCrunch says that in the future, people will mostly agree to how their data is being used instead of trying to stop surveillance. Number 3. Genetically modified viruses may eliminate humanity. Even though vaccines and better health practices have helped humans get rid of many diseases in the past century, it's likely that some of those diseases will come back. With the development of tools like CRISPR that can change genes, we're entering a time when medicine can be made specifically for each person by matching treatment to their genes. Scientists are worried about the opposite: viruses that have been changed genetically to be more dangerous. Number 2. Antibiotics' end is near. Antibiotics have been an important part of medicine for a long time, but in recent years, doctors have found infections that are resistant to antibiotics. At first, there were only a few, but now there are more and more diseases that are becoming immune. NBC News says that so far, the answer has been to tell people to finish their antibiotics instead of stopping when they feel better. Still, this just slows things down. There will come a time when antibiotics won't work anymore. What would it be like if antibiotics didn't exist? It isn't clear yet, but it would mean more than just not being able to get medicine for common illnesses and infections. The Guardian says that people may no longer be able to have surgery because doctors won't be able to fight infections after the process. There may be other antibiotics that kill infectious bacteria or viruses without hurting human tissue, but even if they were found tomorrow, it would take years of testing and development before they could be used widely. Number 1. The internet could not work. People have only had access to the World Wide Web for a few decades, but it's already changed almost every part of life. Still, the inventions won't go away anytime soon. With the rise of global communication, a new era in human history has begun. That's why the thought of it going away is so scary. Experts have called it the Splinternet, or Internet Cold War, and it's getting to the point where a worldwide internet is a problem for countries that can't even get along offline. The BBC says that the Splinternet will be a lot of different internets going on at the same time that aren't connected and are separated by geography, ideas, or anything else. It will be hard or even impossible to move between these parallel internets, isolating people and making it possible for more closed, tightly regulated networks. This is especially appealing to countries with totalitarian governments, but countries with different rules about how to deal with things on the internet may also look for other regional networks. And that's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.